Beast, what are you doing?
I am combing the beard.
Alright. What's up, guys? It's Demented Caliber here, coming back at you with another vape video. Woo! I haven't done one of these in a while. It's been quite a while. We've been meaning to do the Mod Mouth video, but we haven't got around to doing that either. So yeah. Been a busy week. So, as most of you guys know, or if you don't know, depending on where you are, Thursday was my birthday, March 15th. I am now 23 years of age, so congratulations to me. I survived for 23 years on this fucking hellacious
Yay.
planet. Besides the point, I went to the doctor yesterday. Besides the point, I went to my mental health provider. Healthcare provider? I don't fucking know. I went to my psychiatrist. Besides the point, after that, I went to the vape shop. Birthday boy got to go to the vape shop. So I picked up something that Beast has the mini version of, but something I've been wanting for a long ass time, and that is an RTA. And if you're wondering what RTA I got, well, I got the Keelan RTA from Vandy Vape. I've really been loving their products. Who am I kidding? I only have the fucking mesh, but I fucking love the mesh. So, and Beast, what you have the mini version, right?
Yep. The mini.
The mini with the bubble glass and the rainbow finish. Looks awesome. So this is what what my Keelan RTA looks like sitting on top of my Wismec Rouleau RX. What is this? Gen 3. Sorry. We'll sidetrack there for a second. RX Gen 3. So I'm going to be also doing a review in this video. This video is going to be kind of long because Beast is also want to do his review of his mag.
The mag.
Now, I've vaped on this in a couple of my videos, so yeah. It's been shown. I haven't really talked about it much because like that's too cliche of the vapor. The vapor realm is like, oh, I'll show you how I got this, and then come back 1 week later and do my review when I could just take my time with it. I mean, if you want to see this shit, you can just go to my fucking Instagram, honestly. Yeah, I'm not trying to sound like a dick. That's not what I'm trying to sound like. I'm just saying, like, if you want to see, like, what I do in my daily life, where I go in my daily life, or what I get in my daily life, Instagram's the best place for that. Because, I'm going to be honest, before we get started, doing YouTube is actually, now that I've realized it, trying to pump out videos day after day is a lot harder than it looks. Which is why I have these two beautiful people helping me.
Well, thank you.
So the Wismec RX Gen 3, what do I think of it? Well, I think it is an amazing mod. It does have one flaw, which I'll get to here in a little bit, but you can go all the way up to 300 watts. It has a building range all the way down to 0.05. I don't know why you would go that low, but hey, some people like doing that. It uses a 18650 configuration. So yeah. It's quite small. It's actually, I don't have it anymore, but it's actually was smaller than my RX-23, which was the 200 watt variant of the RX models. So yeah. But, it is quite small. It's definitely been a daily driver for me. I'm kind of scared, honestly, taking it out and about because it's just a pretty color. The green and the black. I think that you can't see it because obviously my computer desk lighting, but it's definitely a pretty color, and I wanted something to match it. I was getting tired of using RDAs. Don't get me wrong, I love my RDAs with a passion. Beast will tell you I love my RDAs, but I think it was time to introduce a new tank into the mix, especially one that's rebuildable. So I kind of got this to go with it. I got the it's not really this color green, but a green O-ring with it, so it's pretty cool. I just got like a little wideboard drip tip, and it just works amazing. Battery door. I thought the weakest point of this would have been the battery door. I can't find anything that really gives this mod a bad name. I know a lot of people had some issues with it, but I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't have any issues with it. It's been working fine ever since. The only thing that's wrong with it is the battery indicator isn't quite accurate. So to show two of the batteries that are really low and one really high, but in reality they're all within like a 1 point or a 0.1 percentage of each other. So it's really not that bad. So, but it's very hefty feeling. That I do have to say, it is very hefty feeling. I've always loved. I've had this love hate relationship with Wismac. Like their mods, they look cool, especially the ones they did with Javo. But I had an issue with my RX-23, so I wasn't going to go back to them. But I was like, all right, well, I'm in the market for a new mod. I need a powerful mod because I was using a. I don't even know. No, I'm using a twisted build now, which still needed a powerful box mod. But I was using a build that had so many wraps in it. I think it was like 12 wraps a single coil, 0.79, and anything under 100 wouldn't even fire it on a 2 battery mod. So the chipset definitely really goes a long way. And yeah, so that's how I ended up with this. What do I think of it? Well, again, it's a really nice mod. I honestly, I give it an 8 out of 10. It has its hiccups. It really does have its hiccups. Um, I did mention there was a flaw. I forgot what the flaw was. Must not be important to mention that flaw. Oh, the flaw is it heats up extremely easy because of how small it actually is with the heat transfer from like the atomizer down into the mod. It just it doesn't get overbearing. Like I can still vape it even if it's warm, but it's just something to be noted. That's the only con I can find on this. Definitely love how big the screen is. That's a big factor for me. That's a freaking huge screen.
Oh yeah.
Um, I love the way everything's laid out. You have your power on top, you have your volts, your resistance, and your puff counter. In the form of these, I don't know if you can see them, little honeycomb designs. So I thought that was pretty cool. You have your battery indicators 1, 2, and 3. They're pretty easy to read. Although it would have been nice if they would have actually put, instead of a battery bar indicator, so having like the little each little battery, would have been nice. And I actually seen this on I believe I forgot what mod has it. One of my mods has a voltage indicator. It tells you what your battery voltage is at. So,
Oh,
but with the size of the screen, I'm pretty sure they could have fit 3 in there. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, you're paying $80. That's pretty fucking cheap for a mod. If you buy batteries with it, depending on where you live, you can get this for $120, $124, and that's with batteries. Batteries I have in here are Sony. I'm wanting to say they're VCT5As. I think that's the only VTC batteries you can actually get at this point, besides the VCT5s. But I believe these are 5As. They may even be just VTC 5s, but really good batteries. They are Sony's. That's what my vape shop sells. So, with that being said, I mean, an 8 out of 10, that's a pretty good rating for a mod that I absolutely love and that I use quite a bit. The only time this thing is ever down is when I need to charge the batteries. Other than that, it's pretty much my go-to for building and everything. So, but let's go ahead and talk about this Keelan. Or wait, Beast, you wanted to talk about your mod.
yeah, okay, yeah, do that. I picked up the mag. Nice. Found out it can go either way on the this one right here is a left-handed model, but you can also get the right-handed model. But I've seen that the rainbow. I want that rainbow colored on the accents. I think that so far I've only seen that actually available in the left-handed version. So I don't know. But obviously everybody likes the mag release.
Yeah, the mag release is a nice touch.
It's a nice touch. And then yeah, it's basically go in that your settings, which is just 3. You click over.
Change the color of your text.
And then you got your power off setting.
It's an interesting menu.
Yeah, the menus. I think it's pretty. 5 clicks is obviously your lock, but then you got your You can do, obviously your wattage and your temperature controls settings, which you can do titanium, nickel, and stainless steel. And then your puff counter, you can clear it in this section. You can actually have it to where it resets automatically. It doesn't reset, that kind of thing. And then you can go into your color display settings, which that there it gives you a really long setting when you first get it, which I changed mine to 15 seconds. Um, it had it like it set at like 127 seconds. So I was like, oh, I can't have that because you just wasted battery doing that jazz. But then you just have up and down with the thing. But right now it's locked. But there you go. You can just click right there. But yeah. Other than that, it's actually really nice. It can go also down 2.05 on this one, which is different usually because Smok doesn't usually do that, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you take a look at the AL85, you take a look at the Alien, even the T-Priv, they all go down to point .1, and that's it. You can't go any lower.
Okay. So that's a little different. And then this one only goes to 225 watts, what it says, but it's like, if you're really getting that or not. And number two, it's like, why the 225? It's like,
Why the extra 5 watts? Because wasn't
right.
the Predator was what, 228?
Yeah, the Predator was Wismec. Yeah, they did the 228, and I was like, why? What's with these like little watt variances on different mods? It makes no sense.
Now, if you're looking at, all right, so say Smok compared to Wismec with the GX350 versus the RX300, that 50 is a big difference.
Yeah, it's also 50. That's also like a 50-watt difference, considering the fact of like, you're going with the, with this, it's like the Alien was 220, and this is like 225.
Yeah, it's like it is really that 5 watts going to make a difference. Now,
Exactly.
the reason he said if you're really getting the 225 watts, I say the same thing about the Alien because if we look at the Sigeli Fuchai, it was like what? The 213 was what, 150 watts max?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's probably about the range you're going to get out of two 18650s is 150. So,
Yep.
weigh your odds. But what'd you rate your mod?
Um, Comfortability, like in the hand, because it's obviously it's modeled after like a
Pistol grip.
pistol grip. So I mean, like it's obviously ergonomic itself. So I mean, I would give that one a 9 just for comfortability in the hand. Um, just that's also what the features. That also includes like features with the battery drop and all that jazz. I like that concept. Um, as of menu, it could be a little bit more user friendly. So I'm gonna give that one a 7 because I like it, but it's I don't know. It could be worked out a little bit better. Um, but button. This is where I'm gonna get a little bit on the negative side. Um, the button on it. It has a good click. It feels sturdy. I will give it that. It's a nice firing button, but there has been times where I've tried to hit the device and it wouldn't respond. So, I have to kind of give that a low one. So I'm going to give that one a 5, only because the rest of it's really good, but I really, really don't like a mod that's not going to be responsive when you click a button that's supposed to be able to work like that. So I'm going to give it a low number of 5 because I just don't like that. But, other than that, the design of the button's fine. The connector's fine. All that jazz. So I'm going to give an overall, I'd say about 7.5 to 8 out of 10.
Yeah, well, that's reasonable. I would like to, now that he has mentioned it, I would like to say some more things on this before we dive over into the RTA portion of this video. Comfortability. This thing, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the the Wismac Jabo design, the way it's kind of rounded and squared off, it's comfortable to hold. The comfortability is pretty good for what it actually is and the way it's shaped. It's like your hand conforms to it. So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Which they took this curve in mind right here.
Yeah.
And it's awkward for me to hold in the other hand, but it's comfortable in both hands no matter what. So I like that. Having 3 batteries, some people may be like, "Oh, that's too heavy." You know, it's not that bad. I've carried my GX 350 everywhere up until it started auto firing, and I was like, "No, I ain't messing with this mod anymore." And this isn't as bad as carrying the GX 350. You have to understand. I had 4 18650s in the GX 350.
Right.
But if you're truly getting 300 watts out of this, out of 3 18650s, that's amazing.
That's true.
But that's to be debated. I'm not going to say it is. I'm not going to say it isn't. Personally, I like the mod. Menu screen is actually a little bit more user friendly because you don't have. All right, so now you have to go through a plethora of things. This is how you change like all your little individual settings.
See, I like that. That's nice.
Now we're in temperature. And it's just back, and there's like really not much you can. I'm sure you can probably find the thing in here and go in and upgrade this and tweak whatever you need to, but out of the box, it's fine. So on the menu side of things, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because it's simple, just 3 clicks. You use what is this? I'm not even sure. I think this is wattage up to go through the different modes, and then wattage down to. Oh, you can actually change it from your puff to a time, and then to an amp reader.
Oh, nice.
All right. So now we're back on puffs. I would like to know how to reset this. I'll have to figure that out. Reset everything. That way I'll have 0 puffs and so on and so forth. All right. The Keelan RTA. Out of all the RTAs I could have chosen, why did I choose this one? Yeah, well, that's fucking simple. It's the only one they had. And literally the last one in stock. So, I said I was actually going in there for a single coil RTA. They didn't have any, so I was like, fucking. He's like, all right, I got the Keelan for like $44 and some change. Something, he didn't say change, but $44 before tax and so on and so forth. And it's like, all right, it's really easy to build on. That actually is true. It is a postless deck. Now, I've been kind of on the postless craze lately. I don't know what it is. My mesh is postless. My, what is it called? The Athena RDA. Is it RDA or SRDA? SRDA. Well, either way, the Athena, it's postless. So, yeah. And just another postless to add to the thing. Postless and clamps. I don't know what it is. I'm loving them.
Yeah.
No, I didn't build coils for this because I wasn't just going to throw some basic round wires in it. I actually had two coils left. It's flat twisted, and they come in at 0.36 ohms a piece. So it's reading 0.19 on the reload. So it's not like aliens. If I had a set of fucking aliens, yeah, I'd put those in there. But I didn't have a set of aliens, so I just went with the closest thing I could find. That's not even really a round wire build. It's flat wire. Uses like ribbon or some shit like that. And that was the flat twisted. And I gotta say, the flavor on it's pretty good. I had bought some juice, which I'm going to have to eventually cut down because you can ask him and you can ask her. This juice had me fucking choking. And I'm used to vaping 6 milligrams of nicotine.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. To me, this juice, for me, is unvapable. But you have to take into consideration a 0.19 sub-ohm high wattage. And that's where people have to understand that when it comes to sub-ohming and cloud chasing, you can't use the juices that you used to use.
Right.
You'd have to get something in a 3 if you're doing a 0.2, sometimes even 0.
Yep.
So, but clouds, let's see. How does it perform? Well, I was blown away. Yep, I'm definitely blown away. Produces good clouds. I can't say much about that. So, what do you get in the box? I know this is all out of order. I don't really care. So, you get extra 2 mil glass tube. You get a 6 mil glass tube. You get the chimney extension to accommodate for the 6 milliliter glass tube. And you get a total of 3 drip tips. This one's actually going to be pre-installed. I put the other one on because I like it a lot better. Alright, so on the inside, we're going to have to pull this out. As I said, you obviously I have a green O-ring, so you get a plethora of colors here. You get red, blue, purple, green, and pre-installed is clear. You also get a 510 drip tip adapters for all you 510 drippers out there, drip tippers out there. You get a little tool. I don't know. Did yours come with the tool?
It came with a screwdriver.
No, I mean like to actually undo the tank.
No.
No, mine actually did.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and you get a user's manual and some extra goodies. And mine actually, because mine is the original, or the big version, or original just sounds wrong. Because mine is the big version, it actually uses the hex heads, the hex screws, or grub nuts as most people call them. Doesn't bother me. Oh shit, I'm forgetting to put shit back in the box. And you just get, like I said, you just get a little user's manual, and that's pretty much it. It's not a fully loaded package, although Vandy Vape. I know this is going to be cliche, but Vandy Vape, if you're watching this, please include coils. What?
Well, I'll wait till my review and I'll let you know.
Ah, shit. Yours came with coils, didn't it?
It did.
What
It did.
Vandy Vape, reiterate, get your shit together. No, I love you guys. Yeah, man, your company is awesome. A freaking mesh RDA. It's good for coils. Personally, I'm not digging the fucking mesh.
That's just I don't like his heating element myself either.
Yeah, I mean, I all right. So I got some Vandy Vape mesh wire. I tried it. I just I guess I'm doing it wrong. Maybe some of you vapes just need to show us how to do it. Personally, me.
Getting is a Vandy Vape.
Huh?
Yes.
Aren't I getting a Vandy Vape?
Yeah, you're getting a Pulse BF kit.
Yep, the kit.
But if I'm doing it wrong, then so be it. But I couldn't get I kept getting burnt hits. Literally burnt the shit out of myself. We all remember that night. It was a fucking 2nd degree burn.
Yeah.
Because the fucking thing, I knocked the thing over. Fucking Had juice on there. It got too hot. The juice caught on fire. I accidentally knocked over. It landed on this finger right here, which surprisingly, I still have a little bit of a scar. Thanks, Fanny Vape. No, I'm just kidding. That was actually my fault. But no. I think we're doing it wrong, or we're just trying to hit it at too high of a wattage. I don't know. But like I said, I kept getting burnt hits, and or dry hits, burnt hits, and it wasn't a great experience. Not a great first impressions on mesh. Not to mention, it uses too much juice.
Yeah, yes it does.
I mean, this like if you have a lot of juice and you're wanting to wake up every so often, all right, fine. If you got a buttload of juice, if you're sponsored something, fine, use it all day long. But if you're somebody like me, we can't use this shit. This shit gets expensive, man.
Right.
But no, I mean for a single coil RDA, the fucking mesh works perfectly fine. So yeah. But anyways, get on to your Vende Vape.
Yeah, so I got the mini, and it's actually really good. It's a single coil version of what you have. Um, got it in the ninth rainbow color to match the mod. Um, I did put the bubble glass on. It comes with bubble glass. I did install that when I first got it. But the packaging, we'll get back to that in her in a second, but packaging is like this.
All right, so before you proceed, this is how different the packagings are.
Right? It's crazy. But
Actually, we'll do it Rip Tripper style.
he does more of a finger crawl. It's more like a
Yeah. Sorry, we're kind of taking the piss out of Rip Trippers after what he did to Jay Hayes.
right. But yeah, right here is the came with this. This one comes pre-installed on it, which is just like your regular flat-walled glass.
Yeah, see, he got the fancier version. He got the bubble glass.
Yeah, I got the bubble glass. Then underneath the little flap there, it comes with the flap. It's got the little goodie bag and all that jazz. Came with grub screws and your rings and all that jazz and all that. But you get your user manual, accessory bag. You also get a 810 drip tip. That also is right here. Right here's a little drip tip. I don't know if you can see
He's a little stubby.
You see that little? It's got little lines on it, which I think is actually kind of comfortable, but I just don't like stubbies too much.
Oh, I love stubbies.
Depends on the REA for me, but yeah, it's the
Like the
packaging
Ultim
for it.
stubbies, those are pretty good. Those are pretty comfortable.
Oh yeah, those are pretty comfortable.
I love me a nice little Ultim drip tip.
But let's see. Going back to this, build deck's it's a postless build deck. It's kind of setting in a U. That's how the build deck's set up. It's like this U shape, and on the inside of the U, like where basically where it would cradle the coil, it's got these little holes all over it. They call it the honeycomb.
He's got these little holes.
Yeah, it's got these little,
Like the
these little feet going on. It's got these little bee holes there walking along there. But they got these little holes in there. It's supposed to be like 180. It's supposed to hit it from like 180 degree around the bottom and the sides of the coil. It works pretty well. I have a problem where I'm not wicking it properly. I'm putting too much wicking in there, and I'm having to actually kind of like letting it bend itself a little bit, just because I put a little bit too much in there. So I'm gonna have to rectify that. It's my bad, not Vandy Vapes. But It is a little bit notorious for having a little bit of a wicking issue, just because it's like you put it's literally it's like a it's an art form really. You have to kind of like get just enough to where it's not going to leak into the chamber, like flood the chamber out, or putting too much in there and you got to vent it. So I'd rather do the venting thing instead of flooding the device.
Yeah. And one thing I do have to say is I was actually, I'm not going to lie, I was quite nervous wicking this because I've had bad luck with with the TFE8 RBA or the RBA base or rebuildable base, whatever you want to call it. Um, where I put too much cotton in and wasn't getting enough juice. But this is pretty easy because you can only fit as much cotton as the well will allow.
Mhm.
And it's
This one's
also
the
it
same on the.
also you might actually have to try this. It seems to help out. Fluff the cotton that's in the well. That way it can just soak up.
I mean, I'm trying a new wick product. I don't have the bag on me right now. It's
Wizard
actually
wicks.
yeah, it's Wizard Wicks. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with them. They're a little denser of a cotton. I've noticed more so than like cotton bacon is. Um, so I'm definitely gonna have to work on fluffing it a little bit better. Um, just because of how it is a real thick, dense cotton. Makes it easy to wick. Um, just not so easy to fluff out. You're putting a little bit more too much. It's easier to put a little bit too much cotton in there, just because of how dense it is. But other than that, what how do I really rate this? I'm actually this being my first RTA going on here, and I'm a big single coil fan, as Demented will tell you here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm really digging. I mean, even in my Dead Rabbits, like even with the original Dead Rabbit, I rocked a single coil. I just like single coil builds. It's more my
Even with this
style.
competition cap.
Yeah, with my company. Well, actually, I actually do. I do actually have a two coil build on that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Um,
A nice set of Claptons.
yep. But I figured that was just suiting because it's a competition cap. You can't have like just a single coil on that. But
No, me, I try it.
right.
Well, then again, I tried a single coil in my temples, so yeah.
That's true. You did have that really awesome build in there. Um, so yeah, I'll probably give this about. We give it about an 8 out of 10. It's a tie up there for me. I don't want to give it. I'm not gonna say it's the best thing out there. I haven't experienced a lot out there, so I think eight's a pretty good number because it's
I
definitely
I
gonna be on the higher
I
spectrum.
I'm sorry to dethrone Vandy Vape right real quick. Like I love you guys, but I think from the hype that I've heard, I do think the Limitless would be a lot better. But it's also more expensive too.
Vandy Vape's just finally getting into the like well, especially in the they like to try new things, and I like that because they kind of bring products to our level of being able to spend, if you know what I mean. Um, like with squonking, look how they brought squonking kind of like in the mainstream more so with the with the pulse really, and then now it kind of took off a little bit more. I mean, yeah, you had your drip box and all that jazz, but I mean, like it was still obscure. Now you're every time you turn around, it's a gosh dang freaking squonker box everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, so
But I will
I'm
say this again. Sorry to dethrone Vandy Vape. Well, this isn't even my opinion because I don't have the Pulse BF kit. I don't. But from what a lot of people have said, they prefer the Athena over the Pulse.
well, and the reason is because originally the original design was what's supposed to be coming out, which we all know the whole debacle on the
Oh, we're gonna
whole.
talk about that in this video as well. So,
Well, we'll lead up to that because this is actually where it kind of comes into play. The pulse mod was actually supposed to be the 80 watt in the original design, but they didn't, they didn't feel like they needed to. They didn't want to explore squonking. They didn't know how good it was going to take off because it was new to them. So they made a mechanical version of it, and that's where the pulse came in. So it worked out pretty well. It's the same basic design, but they just made it mechanical, more so, or not mechanical, but unregulated because obviously it's not really mechanical. So they made an unregulated version to basically see how well it would do. And then when it took off, that's when they wanted to do this whole. They wanted to finalize the design for the 80-watt pulse, and yeah. So then they reached out. Well, Tony B reached out to
Voopoo.
Vupu, yeah, and was wanting their gene chip because he's had a couple of different devices. So he was talking about that he loves that chip. He knows a lot of people have has a good rapport, and basically the whole debacle is that they were basically just jiving and business talking basically because when you do a business deal like that, when they have like that, they have to know the design of the device that they're putting the chip into. That's with any kind of like business ordeal. So when basically they found out all this what they're doing, how they're connecting it, and now freaking Vupu's trying to come out with a freaking after they've raised the prices and all that stuff, knowing they want this chip, and now putting them in legal things with negotiations, like tying them up there, making them go behind in their scheduling, and now Vupu's going to come out with a freaking device that's basically a ripoff of Tony B's design. It's bull.
Oh, it is bullshit. They dicked them around hardcore. And you know the sad part is, if I wouldn't have ended up with the RX Gen 3, I was probably going to end up with a Voopoo Drag. Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't. Because
Well,
that,
exactly.
I'm going to say this. Yes, Tony B may have been reckless in the decision he made by doing this, but yeah, that's how business goes. But Voopoo should have been kind enough to be like, hey, set price, we'll let you use the chip as long as we get credit for our chip.
Yeah, and that's what they were going to get. That's the thing. They agreed to sell them the chips. They came back and said, "No, we want this for this month. Instead of the price that we settle on, we want more." So they're like, "Well, we can do this." So they agreed on it for 40,000, or yeah, 40,000, I think it was, 40,000 chips. Well, then they kind of like, well, there's a delay in the order that you guys want it, and now they're bringing out a mod on it now. It's like they're just trying to tie them up long enough so they can bring theirs out, and then just basically come out and say, hey, that's we can't do this anymore because now it's conflicting with one of our mods because it's now a direct competitor. It's bull.
And that's
What that
actually,
means.
and like I said, he may have been reckless. All right, I'll agree with people on that. He was reckless, but again, Fubu shouldn't have done this.
Right. I
All
mean,
right,
like,
the problem is we already have so much conflict in the vaping community. We're having so much problems that it is. You motherfuckers at Vupu, and I hope somebody from Vupu watches this. That would be fucking awesome, because I'm gonna lay it down right here. I'm sorry, Fandy Vape's probably better than you. You felt threatened. You wanted to dick them around so you could try and make a better mod. I'm sorry. It has to be said. Like, I haven't used yours, but honestly, the only reason your shit's still afloat is because people talk about you way too fucking much. They rave about your products, and it's just hype. That's all it is.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, you guys agreed to do a project, and that's how it looks like to me. It's like I get business, and what they're doing is absolutely legal. They're allowed doing it, and that's what's bullshit about it. The thing is, if somebody comes up to you with a business proposition, you're gonna be making money off of it. They just want your chip because your chip is actually what he wanted. I don't know how good the chip is. I mean, like the gene chip for me is like you could just be throwing whatever. It doesn't even matter. Point is, you had a good rapport about people wanting that chip in another device. You would have got revenue from it, but you decide that you want to freaking ruin whatever rapport you had with people. It's like nobody gives a shit about the chip that much. Like what they're doing right now. They're just gonna put a Vandy vape, a Vandy chip into it, a chipset into it, and then just call it a day. And honestly, the Vandy chip's not that bad.
Tony B even said he does like the Vanny vape chip. He just preferred your chip more.
Right, and you just basically took a person of his caliber, which is a nice guy. He's a good designer, and basically any other kind of like, hell, you guys could have made a freaking device later on down the road in the first place, but or like a big another collab where you guys had more of a hand into it. You guys totally threw that out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, what for the now and the now instead of worrying about, hey, in the future we could take this like this basically this collaboration, make something out of it, and now you got nothing.
Ain't
Just
got shit.
a bunch of pissed off people because it's like you do know that a lot of people in the vaping community go to the Vapor Trails channel, and they get a lot of their insight and like seeing what's new out there, and they trust what Tony B's about. I mean, I do. I mean, like
Yeah, I
he
do
did
as
the
well.
review,
And when I saw that video, it kind of broke my heart. Somebody
right?
that nice can be dicked around like that.
Right.
And you pissed off a lot of people. Man, they're probably not going to see this. I don't really fucking care. We're just talking at this point. Fuck it. We're calling this Mod Mouth. This will be our.
Odd mouth.
But a lot of people are pissed off in the vape community because of this shit.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to rip each other off, why don't y'all actually come together? In case you haven't realized, the FDA is already trying to take us down as it is.
Right. And all you're doing is basically fueling fire.
You're making the vaping industry look bad. This is drama. We don't need this.
Right.
I mean, fuck. The least y'all could have done was fucking helped out Tony B. Yeah, he may be working with Vandy Vape, but he can work with you guys too.
Right. Like I said, this collaboration could have breeded something a lot more
Unheard
both
of.
companies. Right. It could have made more collaborations between the two. Maybe more so with Vupu's name more so on it later on down the road. But they want to throw that away for what, to rip off freaking Tony B's design. It's like nobody's gonna buy it. First of all, I mean, people are probably gonna buy anything. But the thing is, people who are like actual in the vaping community and know what you did and knows the whole drama behind it, they ain't gonna do it.
No, nobody's gonna buy it, honestly. And you look at it this way, as I said, more people are pissed off because of what Vupu did, and a lot of people are standing with Tony B, and so are we.
Yeah.
I will refuse to give my money to I say my money. Fuck it. I refuse to give my money to a low-down corporation like Vupu.
Yeah.
It's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Vupu fail.
At this point, yeah.
I can't wait to see the company fail. That's just my opinion. But, let's see, what else could we talk about? How about Rip Trippers blocking Jay Hayes?
Oh shit.
All right, so in case of you guys hadn't been following Jay Hayes, he reviewed the Ferro Mini RTA. Now that was actually an RTA that I was going to end up buying. I'm glad I didn't. Here's why. From what it looked like, the RTA was fucked from the get-go. it literally was. Did you see that?
I didn't see the video yet.
Oh no, you haven't seen the video. Oh shit, you gotta watch it.
I'll watch it.
It was fucking fucked, and it's like, and all fucking Jay Hayes tried to do was reach out to fucking Rip Trippers, and it's like, Rip Trippers just blocks him. Okay, well, first off, fix your fucking shit. The fact of the matter is if you knew there was something wrong with the RTA from the get-go, if it had these issues, fuck, you're the first person to test this shit. You're the one who fucking designed it. It was a fucking flop. It literally was. He couldn't unscrew it. He could screw it one way, that'd just make it tighter, but could not unscrew it. Not even with a pair of pliers. I'm telling me that one. Seriously. You're a big-ass fucking YouTuber, right? I watched Rip Troopers earlier because but you're a big-ass YouTuber like Rip Troopers, a vape personality of the sorts. And you're off with, who the fuck did he design? Was it DigiFlavor that he designed that with?
Who? Jay Hayes?
No, Rip Troopers, the Pharaoh. It was DigiFlavor.
It was DigiFlavor, yeah.
Alright, so you're designing this RTA with this company. I'm guessing he designed it with the same company. I'm not too sure. But you're like the first person that gets the first batch, right? Now, as a designer, if something has to come up with one of the units of RTAs, so say like the one Jay Hayes got, you think in reality you would actually, hey, I don't know, maybe talk with DigiFlavor, get it replaced, refund his money? No, what do? You resort to blocking him.
Right.
Sorry. I'm going to say this. From what I've seen of Jay Hayes, he puts shit like it is. And your RTA was a fucking flop.
Well, so I have a question. Did he post the video first, or did he reach out first?
He reached out first.
So, I mean, he did the responsible thing by, like, reaching out instead of just putting the other person on blast. So, I mean, everything from now on is on the other person, because...
Well, I don't know which actually came first, to be honest. But, I mean, either way.
He mentions it in the video, so it has to be before.
Yeah, good point. Because he did his review and so on and so forth, and I think that's what pissed Rip Troopers off. Because he said the flavor was phenomenal, but just trying to use it is a pain, and I guess that pissed Rip Troopers off.
I mean, he probably gave him his 2 cents as he was... I mean, we all know Jay Hayes. He probably did, reach out to him and said, hey, this is what I like about it, this is what I don't like. Take it for what it is. What can we do to fix, what are you going to do to fix that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And he didn't like what he said, I guess, and just blocked him.
I mean, we'll never know what was said, but I just think the experience itself is shitty.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't consider Rip Troopers a reviewer anymore. He's a fucking salesman.
Yeah, you don't really... I mean, like, anything that you could find wrong with the device, he for some reason, his doesn't have that issue. If you ever notice. It's like, this is the best thing in the world. Yeah,
money will get you to say anything. So on that note, I won't be buying any Rip Trooper products. We'll just go get our jammies elsewheres. I had to do it. I fucking love Jay Hayes, man. His fucking jammies, like, it's something to do with that word I freaking love.
It's just his way of saying things. Just
it's smooth. It's like it comes off as hilarious, but he's real at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is something Rip Troopers hasn't been for a long ass time. You rock the boat, it's eventually going to fall over. I'm sorry, but Rip Troopers, your sail or your ship has sunk a long time ago. There's literally better YouTubers out there. And I think that's pretty much it, because this video is longer than it had to be. But you know what? I just thought we thought of those things with the Tony B shit and then the fucking Jay Hayes shit. If anything else comes up, that'll be next Mod Mouth. I might actually follow this this Tony B stuff, see where it goes.
I'm definitely gonna keep up with it. You know, I like the Vape trails.
Yeah, but anyways, guys, this is Demented Caliber and the Beast and Terror Storm signing out. This is Storm Family signing out.